One thing I've noticed over the last several days that to me is also a reflection of the cult-like behavior that exists in all elements of our political discourse today, but particularly amongst the conservative evangelical class, is this rabid doxing of everyday people because they decided to voice their opinion against Charlie Kirk, or that they didn't care that he died, or that they were happy that he died. You know what? That's their right. We're not here celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, but you better believe, as constitutional absolutists, I 1000% support their right to say whatever the hell they want. And this argument of, well, it's not against the First Amendment if a person chooses to fire them. Let me assure you of something that I know in my heart of hearts. Most businesses support free speech. Are there exceptions to the rule? There certainly are. But when you have this army, thousands upon thousands of people that call up and harass employers and tell them, much like the Stop Anti-Semitism Zion-Nazis that basically go after people who are not loyal and fidel for the Israel cause, what do you think it's like for an employer who has to deal with 1,000 phone calls a day from people saying, fire this person or there's going to be hell to pay? It's not like they want to fire these people, but you make it your mission in life to go after people. And you're not just going after anybody. You're going after working class people. You're not going after high-end executives who wish ill will. You're going after fucking firefighters and teachers and subway workers. That's who you're going after.
On behalf of a man who made his living encouraging people to kick down, right? So these people are now, working people are now being at risk because of their opinions about someone who was teaching people to kick down. I mean, we've definitely lost the plot here.
Ray J is one of our conservative friends, but I want to be very clear about this. You know, you've been watching our channel for a long time. You know that the reason we said something regarding what happened with George Floyd is because we have policing in the United States that doesn't do away with qualified immunity. That was the whole point of George Floyd. All the other Black Lives Matter and the BLM bullshit that went on and the rioting and the looting and all that shit, you know we don't support that stuff. But
I guess I don't understand this. George Floyd guided the bullet.
So if the argument here is that, well, you guys did this with George Floyd, so we get to do it with Charlie Kirk. No, that's ridiculous. And not only that, but we were also very adamant on our channel about the bullshit about COVID. Sorry to our friends over at Punch Up and anybody else, but at the end of the day, free will. If you don't want to get injected, you should not have to be. And there should be no restrictions against people who choose bodily autonomy, just as I believe in a woman's right to choose. And obviously for Jen, that's one of, I would say, your primary issues of concern, rightfully so.
Well, I generally am a very strong advocate for human beings having self-determination and control over their own bodies in every way. Like, that's just a big thing to me. But unfortunately for women, we seem to be the target of somebody trying to control our bodies in a way that doesn't happen to men. But I would be against it in that regard too. Like, let's say, for example, every man that turned 18 had to either commit to paying lifelong child support for the future or get a vasectomy forced upon them. You know, I might not like that, even though I'm not a man, because I think people should have self-determination over their own persons. So that's just me.
Common sense, I would think.
Yeah.
But this lady was a real doozy. There's lots of them out there that are doing this, but I singled out this one in particular for a reason. She has not only been going on social media gleefully talking about how she doxed this person, she doxed that person, and is also now going on television and talking about it.
So let's see who she is. Let's know who she is. Yes.
So this is Olivia Krolczyk. I believe that's how you say her name.
No shock that the left is mad that we are playing by their game. They created cancel culture and we are now playing by their rules and they can't stand it. In reality, it's just consequence culture. They're finally learning consequences to their actions. We're holding them accountable because complacency is what led us to the last week. What we saw to that poor girl on the bus, what we saw happen to Charlie Kirk, and so many other unfortunate situations.
So you're telling me that the reason that you're doing this is because you think that these people are responsible for the lady who got stabbed in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that Charlie Kirk's assassination in Utah, that's the person who's working in Office Depot that you got fired? This is a person who posted on social media. Keep in mind, I'm not going to tell you where she lives, but I can tell you that she's in her early 20s and her family, the home that she grew up in and has been raised in her formative years in, is a multi-acre, million-dollar property in Central Ohio. This is not a person who is coming from any form of struggle. This is a person.
This is a privilege. Look at her. This is like a very privileged. And what's so interesting, and she fails to see this. See, she thinks that she's winning. She believes that she's winning. She's turning in these people. She's making them. She's showing them. Da 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 da. I promise that within, I'd say, 6 months to a year, those people will end up okay. This woman will never live this down for the rest of her life. This is going to be her legacy. And it's like she has no clue, because I'm sure she's surrounded by people that are like, congratulating her on a job well done. She's sealing her own fate. You're making yourself a loathsome person on this planet. And you're pretty young. Looks like you've got a lot of years left to live amongst the people that are going to find you to be disgusting. And I just don't think that these people, because of their privilege, her particularly, has any concept as to what's going to really come back. Because what I would tell her, I don't even know that she'd get this, is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And you better bet yours is coming. That's what I know. So she could sit there and make herself as known as possible, just like Hyundai Karen that I told you about. Please, people, keep it up. I'd love to know who these people are.
In the last, what is it? Oh, excuse me. This was done, I kid you not, in about the course of 36 hours. I've officially contacted, this is the girl on the screen, mind you. I've officially contacted 471 employers. Still more to do. My fingers hurt. My eyes hurt. I've never had screen time this high, but I'm alive to complain about it. It's all worth it. All for Charlie. Do you pray at night to Charlie Kirk, Chris? Is that what you do? Olivia? Is that what you do? You get on your hands and knees and pray to one of those, they make those candles, those Jesus imitation candles, and they slap other people's faces on there, like Luigi Mangione. Well, did you slap Charlie Kirk's face on there and pray to him? This is beyond unacceptable behavior. She has maybe just a little more to say.
They're seeing the consequences of their actions.
Absolutely. Hannah, you've got the War Secretary, Pete Hegseth.
Just look at that square.
I can't. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's like they all look kind of the same to me. Kind of vapid and I don't know.
They all come from good stock. They all come from good stock. They all have and apparently Pete Hegseth joined in on that shit as well. It is again, Newsmax, it's all of these networks, all of the people that they typically get, but this is who they want. They want these drone-like figures to be doing this work.
I have to agree with this for a second. With Patricio, that you are wrong that businesses do not support free speech. I don't think so either. I think very few people really support free speech. I agree with you, Patricio.
Fair enough. I don't think that they're not doing themselves any favors. That's the problem. So if you're actually trying to prove a point that you're total hypocrites, especially on the issue of free speech, well, you're proving it and then some. I don't recall. I mean, listen, is it possible that some of the liberal Karens were doing the exact same thing? It's possible. But I have never seen activity that they brag about so gleefully. I'm trying to set a record. I've called 800 different businesses to make sure that these people get fired. And apparently at least as many as 10,000 have done just that. First of all, you have no life. And right. This is how you spend your time. You do have way too much time on your hands and should be spending it more productively. At least that's where I stand. Your thoughts?
I just think that these are very privileged people that apparently have nothing better to do than focus on other people. So this girl in particular, she has nothing for herself. She hasn't done anything. She doesn't create anything. She doesn't inspire anything. She doesn't do anything. And when you're like that, that's when you spend your time going after other people. Because you don't have your whole own existence to do. Like people that are content don't do that. They don't spend their time doing that. People that are successful, people that only losers and people that are insecure and people that really have nothing that they themselves feel like they're not quality. They don't have anything. They're shit. They know they're shit. And so they have to spend their time going after other people, which is why Horseface Karen is basically not realizing that in the end she loses.